CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Ian is off. There was a heavy police presence in Elk Lake today. The 5th Street East and Pine Street area was swarming with police this morning in the community northwest of Timiskaming Shores. Police cleared the area just after 10 a.m., saying there was no threat to public safety. Police have charged an Alberta driver after a single vehicle collision in Sudbury. Police say a commercial vehicle crashed on Highway 69 at the Highway 17 junction around 1:30 this morning. 2 occupants in the vehicle were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The 30-year-old driver from Edmonton has been charged with careless driving causing bodily harm. The cleanup of the milk products and removal of the wreckage took most of the day.
We recommend all commercial motor vehicles to always pre-check their load and ensure that their load is safe, do a circle of their vehicle, ensure that they follow the speed limit of the highways, try not to be distracted.
Police say commercial vehicles play an important role in delivering goods to communities across Ontario, but are subject to strict regulations regarding travel, licensing, and equipment. A few dozen people wearing red marched today from the North Bay Indigenous Friendship Centre down to the waterfront. It was to mark Red Dress Day. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
Marching to the beat of the drum, Indigenous people and their allies reflect on a dark chapter in the story of First Nations.
It's a very hard day to be here.
It's the National Day of Awareness and Remembrance for missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people.
There's a girl that's gone missing in Wikwemekong. They've been looking for her, just all of a sudden one day disappeared. And then we've got the 2 girls that went missing quite a few years ago in Maniwaki.
Red dresses, shirts, and ribbons serve as a visual reminder of the lives that have been lost and the ongoing calls for justice, safety, and accountability.
Being here in hopes that in the future, we have a safer place for our people.
Police data shows a woman or girl is killed by violence approximately every 48 hours in Canada, often from gender-based violence. Many of these women are Indigenous.
More investigating, more support for Indigenous women and girls, and allowing them to be in their communities and practice their culture.
According to the Assembly of First Nations, despite only making up a little over 4% of Canada's population, Indigenous women make up 16% of female homicide victims and 11% of women's missing persons cases.
As an Indigenous person, a single mother with my daughter traveling alone, it's not safe. So maybe in the future, that will be safe.
It's that hope for change that pushes these advocates forward. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Ontario Provincial Police have released a new report on missing and unsolved murdered Indigenous people. The report reviews 65 investigations dating from 1956 to 2024. Of those cases, 14 involve Indigenous women and girls, including missing persons and 9 unsolved deaths, most of them homicides. 45 cases involve Indigenous men and boys, including missing persons and 6 unsolved deaths. Police say the report reflects ongoing efforts to address violence against Indigenous peoples and bring answers to families.
We had a tremendous responsibility to be supportive not only to victims, but to the vulnerable. And I think if there was anything that anyone could do or help support to provide closure to people, to loved ones, to families, to mothers, to brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, that would help, one, humanity, but it would also provide closure to people that need it.
The fact that this particular matter had to have an inquiry just shows the lack of understanding or attention that was given to, the very real experiences that families had to endure. So I think it's great to have this happen, and I think that if they're including people who are impacted or who are key stakeholders, if you want to call them stakeholders, in this matter, then that's a move towards the right direction. Obviously, I'm always going to say that not enough is being done to address the matters. As an Indigenous woman,
anyone with information is urged to call the Ontario Centre for Missing Persons at 1-8779-FIND-ME. To remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. With the price at the pumps climbing higher, drivers are looking for ways to reduce their fuel consumption or find alternatives. That story from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
Sticker shock for Sudbury drivers Tuesday as some stations showed almost $2 a litre for regular gas. Others nearby weren't too far behind.
We've crossed a very dangerous point where supplies are very, very limited, and many countries are now looking not at just high prices, but shortages, which will mean rationing.
McTagg connects this hike to the conflict in the Middle East and the geopolitical climate, and he's predicting the shortage means the cost of fuel will continue to climb.
Despite the federal government dropping 10 cents off the federal excise tax, it's still not having the desired impact of bringing down prices. And so we're stuck in a vortex, if you will, of ever higher prices, which the spiral is likely to go well past the $2 litre range.
Given the skyrocketing price at the pumps, motorists are looking for ways to save money or make changes. An environmental not-for-profit says our community is very dependent on fossil fuels, given that Sudbury is a sprawling city.
If you are coming from the outskirts, as a lot of us are from Sudbury, from outlying communities, try to go once a week instead of several times a week. But again, understanding sports and kids and activities and families, that might not be possible. I think, there's always the advice, stick to the speed limit, make sure your tires are inflated, make sure that your car is in good operational order.
The cost of gas also has some considering switching to electric or hybrid model vehicles. A Sudbury EV expert says they've seen an uptick in interest, and he reassures those who are interested that the savings in the long run is worth the upfront investment.
The total cost of ownership of an EV versus a regular gas car, I believe Clean Energy Canada just came out with some stats where it's around the $30,000 over the life of the vehicle mark that you could save on electricity and maintenance.
McTagg is telling Canadian drivers to buckle up for an expensive year. He predicts gas prices could surpass the all-time record of $2.15.9 cents a litre set in June 2022, shortly after the Russian-Ukrainian war began. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
5 recreation areas in Sault Ste. Marie are getting upgrades. More than $855,000 is being invested through the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation. Wilcox, Manitou, and Manso Parks will see upgraded playground equipment, area resurfacing, and more. The Strathclair Sports Complex will see improvements to the dog park and lighting, as well as a new batter's box, while the Greco pool will be adding accessible washrooms and making improvements to the change rooms. A new proactive approach to property standards has begun in Sault Ste. Marie. It's in an effort to both clean up problem areas and further punish out-of-town property owners that have become repeat offenders. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
Areas like this were among the top priority for the city's building division, undertaking the first of regular bylaw blitz efforts. The targeted, proactive enforcement from bylaw officers will run for the rest of 2026, focusing on neighborhoods with frequent complaints.
The biggest thing I hear about is the homeless population that is, kind of inhabiting different vacant buildings, different yards, things like that. A lot of the garbage that'll go alongside of that, and some of the safety issues that get brought in as well for the city to deal with it.
Dufour says those issues, combined with an absentee landlord problem, has led to changes from City Council.
A renewed focus on the yard maintenance bylaw with a 7-day compliance period, whereas before some of the orders were being issued under the property standards bylaw, that had a provincially mandated compliance date of 14 days. So by cutting that in half, I think that we're going to see a lot better results a lot quicker.
The city is targeting the area from Wellington to the water's edge between Church Street and West Street for the increased enforcement. This is one step to address what Mayor Matthew Shoemaker refers to as a slumlord issue in the city.
It allows us to, I would say, pile the charges up against landlords. So once they get to a certain point, then they could be put on a, whether it's a vacant property, they could be required to have vacant property insurance sent to us. And if they don't have that, then we can, take possession of the property in certain instances.
No additional resources have been provided to accommodate the enforcement blitz, with bylaw officers being moved from other core duties. Both Shoemaker and Dufour agree that in order to tackle this issue long term, the city needs to increase the staffing complement of an already small building division. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Emergency Preparedness Week in Canada runs from May 3rd to the 9th, and the Ontario SPCA is using this week to encourage people to have plans in place for everyone in the household, including pets.
We have business cards to put in your wallet that'll say that your pet's home alone in case you end up in an accident, with the key card as well. We also have our door stickers that show how many animals are in the home, so in case there's an evacuation, whether it's cats or dogs, or you can add a bird or any other animal in your home just to make sure they get evacuated.
In addition to the pet identifiers, the SPCA has a 72-hour emergency preparedness workbook. It's recommending pet owners check their emergency kits twice a year to make updates if needed. Bailey cited the recent snowfall and flooding in the area as a reminder of being prepared for an emergency. It's time now for a short break here on CTV News, and we saw some cooler temperatures out there today. Coming up, I will have your full weather forecast, but for now, a look at the current conditions around the region. So mainly cloudy skies out there, some clear skies into Temiskaming Shores, sitting at 0 in Chapleau. Your full forecast coming up next. Welcome back. So the calendar says it's May, but you're saying it doesn't feel like that quite yet. Well, I have some good news for you. We are going to be seeing some warmer temperatures start to move in through the region. I'll show you when, just after the full forecast right here. Let's get into it with the forecast radar. So we're going to see some cloudy skies over the next few days, some rain heading our way by the time Thursday rolls around. So mostly cloudy skies, a bit of sunshine in between as we get closer to the weekend, but also there's the chance of that rain snow mix as well. 7-day forecast starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. So we've got cloudy skies, a bit of sunshine to start the day for tomorrow, high of 9 degrees, holding on to that single digit temperature for Thursday, continuing on into Friday with a chance of sleet as well as Sunday, but then temperatures start to pick up a little bit closer to normal by the time the weekend rolls around. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, cloudy skies for tomorrow, high of 7, chance of sleet. For Thursday, single-digit temperatures, high of 6 degrees, well below the normal for this time of year, which is 15, chance of sleet throughout the weekend, including on Mother's Day, which is Sunday, with a high of 8 degrees. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, overcast skies for tomorrow, high of 8, still cool lows, -1 as the low for tomorrow. Chance of sleet on Thursday, continuing into Friday, high of 12 by the time Saturday rolls around. So getting a little bit warmer, but then by the time Tuesday rolls around, we're just 2 degrees below normal. For Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, cloudy skies for tomorrow, bit of sunshine to start the day, high of 11, 9 on Thursday, chance of sleet continuing on throughout much of the weekend, but by the time Sunday rolls around, a chance of showers for Mother's Day. Hopefully we see a little bit of sunshine as well on Sunday for Mom. For North Bay, West Nipissing, a sun cloud mix for tomorrow. High of 12-10 on Thursday. Chance of sleet throughout much of the weekend, and then a chance of showers on Sunday. For Mother's Day, high of 12. But let's go back to Saturday there. High of 14, which is a lot closer to the normal than what we've been seeing for this time of year. So we just got to wait a couple days for it to get a little bit warmer at least. Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles is facing criticism over remarks she made yesterday, suggesting Premier Doug Ford could be behind bars before the next provincial election. We get that story from CTV's Siobhan Morris.
Ontario's opposition leader sees no need to apologize for comments about the Premier that raised eyebrows around Queen's Park.
Maybe you won't get another mandate because you'll be in prison, Doug.
The government House leader slammed that language during question period.
Dangerous, American-style, Trumpian rhetoric that, quite frankly, has no place in this legislature. Shameful.
Speaker, pretty rich coming from a government that is under RCMP criminal investigation.
That investigation of land removal from the Greenbelt was launched in the fall of 2023. Records tied to the process are accessible to the Mounties, but not journalists or the public. That's because of changes to the Freedom of Information Act.
I think I'm saying out loud what a lot of people are saying quietly, right? Which is that this is a premier and a government who have to answer to the people. If you have nothing to hide, why are you working so hard to hide things?
The premier isn't asking for an I'm sorry, but says
That Trump-style rhetoric is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned.
Doug Ford's been accused of engaging in that same kind of rhetoric going back to his 2018 campaign.
Doug Ford sounds like Donald Trump, and that's because he is like Donald Trump.
Those words from the then premier after Ford's campaign released this statement. If Kathleen Wynne tried to pull these kinds of shady tricks in private life, there would be more than a few Liberals joining David Livingston in jail. That's an ex-Premier McGuinty staffer who served time for deleting emails connected to the gas plant scandal.
Campaigns, you go back and forth, but now we're running government, and I think everyone should get together and collaborate when we can.
2 weeks ago, Ford faced heavy criticism for a dig at a Liberal MPP.
You know why the members down here? Because CP24 didn't want her anymore.
The premier has since apologized. He draws distinction with what Stiles said.
Inside the legislature, words get said, but that one was over the top. And yes, we go back and forth, but she stepped over the line.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
The OPP are warning the public of an aggressive phone scam they started receiving complaints about this morning. They say there are calls appearing to come from the Sudbury detachment phone number. Scammers are calling individuals repeatedly saying they are police officers and requesting personal information, asking about ongoing investigations, or attempting to obtain sensitive details under the pretense of assisting with a police matter.
Just always be aware that there are scams and fraudsters out there trying to get your identity, trying to get personal information, whether it's your bank account, your personal information, and always double check the source of who the information is going to. And don't be shy to hang up and call the source yourself to verify that.
The Sudbury OPP detachment phone number is 705-564-6900, and police say scammers are using spoofing technology to make it look like the calls are coming from a legitimate police number. More stores are now using algorithms and dynamic pricing. So you may see the cost of some goods change over a month, a week, or even a day. Whether it's a lawnmower, a mattress, or a TV set, it's wise to track prices of things you're hoping to buy. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Whether you're looking for a coffee pot or big-ticket purchases like appliances and mattresses, prices will fluctuate. There's been a lot of discussion about dynamic pricing, changing prices based on demand, but retail analyst Bruce Winder says that's not new.
If you get your weekly flyers, you'll see prices go down for a week and then they'll go back up. And then maybe 6 weeks later, they go down again.
Consumer Reports just tracked 16 popular products to give shoppers a clear picture of how prices rise, fall, and fluctuate. Take this Shark vacuum.
One week it was like $119, and at its peak it was close to $200. So it would swing by $40 or $50 a week. We're seeing it with baby products, a lot of clothing and footwear.
While some retailers are experimenting with surveillance pricing in the U.S., where consumers are charged different prices based on their personal data, Winder feels it won't be prevalent in Canada.
Charging consumers different prices because they're different consumers is taboo. The reputational damage to the company would far eclipse any margin gain.
If you're trying to save money on electronics, consider buying an older model. TVs, phones, and laptops that are a year or two old can cost hundreds less. And consider refurbished products.
They take it, they clean it up, they replace parts, and you get it with a new 1-year warranty. I mean, there's no better deal in my mind than getting a refurbished item.
Certain items also go on sale at specific times of the year. AI can help research that. If you can hold off on a purchase, you could save money.
And you might find out that this is one of the items that is really used aggressively on Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Boxing Day, right? And if you can, you might wait.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
The North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit says opioid-related overdoses have exceeded pandemic levels. The health unit is reporting 42 overdoses and 4 deaths last month alone. The increase is alarming and has caused the health unit to extend its drug warning from April 7th for a second time. Meanwhile, in Sudbury, health officials say the situation is complex.
Public Health Sudbury and Districts has released 3 drug warnings. And that is because of an increase in suspected drug poisonings in the area. In fact, in our last release on May 1st, we talked about how we actually in April saw the highest number of emergency medical services calls since May of 2022, and actually the highest since Public Health began tracking that data in 2018. Now those numbers have kind of declined back down to typical levels as of now.
Mortimer says individuals consuming drugs are advised to use the buddy system and always carry naloxone. This is Mental Health Week, and the Canadian Mental Health Association Sudbury Manitoulin is encouraging people to connect. From grabbing a coffee with a friend to taking a walk, officials are encouraging everyone to reach out in person rather than virtually. CTV's Lindsay Elk reports.
Connection can take many forms, but officials say it has increasingly shifted to screens in recent years.
Youth, especially 1 in 5 youth, are being affected by loneliness and social isolation. And what happens is, because they reach out through the social media channels, virtual is good, but it's not enough. And so we're really promoting connection. We're promoting reach out to a friend, a family member, community.
According to 2025 Stats Canada data, nearly 1 in 4 people who connect only online are frequently lonely, compared to 15% of those who connect both in person and virtually. Meanwhile, about 5 million people in Canada report feeling lonely often or always, and officials say loneliness is linked to anxiety, depression, substance use, and disengagement.
Let people know that they don't need to be alone. There is supports. Once again, when I look at some of the workshops that we're hosting, we also have a very important topic that we need to talk about, and that's suicide. So we have a Safe Talk free session tomorrow afternoon for individuals who have registered. And again, we want to bring that open, direct conversation about the importance of letting people know that it's okay to not be okay.
For those that aren't sure how to get started, CMHA is inviting community members to take part in a mental health walk here at Bell Park tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., offering an opportunity to step away from screens, connect in person, and meet others in a low-pressure, welcoming environment. Lindsay Elk, CTV News, Sudbury.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Lace up your sneakers. Details next. Northern filmmakers, it could be your moment to shine. CineFest has opened submissions for the CTV Best in Shorts competition from the 38th Annual International Film Festival. Submissions can be made online until Friday, July 10th at 4:30 p.m. The films will be reviewed and the finalists will be part of the festival September 19th to the 27th. The top prize for the shorts competition is $1,500. It's the news Sudbury walkers and runners have been waiting for all spring. One of the city's most iconic pathways is fully back in business. Science North confirmed on social media today that the Jim Gordon Boardwalk is officially open for the 2026 season. While the new floating section made its big debut last summer, it was closed over the winter months for maintenance and ice protection. After final inspections this week, the gates are now open. And finally for us tonight, a stunning display captured on camera of an iconic northern landmark. Check out this view taken a few weeks ago of a rainbow stretching across the Abitibi Canyon north of Cochrane. It is a remarkable look at the raw power and beauty of the north, all caught in one perfect shot. Definitely a sight worth sharing. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Tuesday night. Thanks for watching. I'll be back here again tomorrow. Good night.